If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Stephanie Geltmacher on the program, one of the bright and up-and-coming prospects in women's MMA right now. She'll be back in action August 9th, taking on Victoria Leonardo at Invicta FC 36. Stephanie, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing good, feeling good. Camp's going well.
That's what we like to hear. And one thing I've noticed about you is that you haven't been competing in this sport very long. However, you've used this time to your advantage in a big way because you've been getting the job done. I guess my first question is sort of your quasi rite of passage to the program here. How did this all start for you? Like, how did you in this crazy world of mixed martial arts find each other?
Well, I started wrestling at a young age, jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and I just followed it to the top that I could go in college, and then my fiance started to fight, and I was like, well, I can do that too. So I just kind of followed in his footsteps, and that's how it came to be.
So it was like a natural transition and progression of the sport.
Yes.
When did you know that, like, this is what you wanted to do? Like, when did you realize, you know what would be fun for me? Getting punched in the face. And I mean that in the nicest way possible because I can't even begin to express how much respect I have for anyone who gets in there and competes.
You know, honestly, I knew I wanted to be a fighter when I was 6 years old. But I never, I never thought it could actually happen, but I've wanted to fight since I was that young. So when I started competing in wrestling, and then when it was over, that's I felt like this is when I can do this dream.
6 years old, huh?
Yeah, I was 6 years old. My dad was a fighter in the Marine Corps, so I mean, he told me when he started seeing women fighting in the cage, he told me I could do that, and I have the aggression because I've always been an aggressive little girl. I got in trouble at school for fighting, so yeah, it's always kind of been there.
So you were the one sent to the principal's office from like kindergarten on.
I'm not proud of it, but yes.
It happens. We learn and we grow from these experiences. And now look at you.
Yes.
So you kick off your professional career, and then you get a win under the Bellator banner, and you've had a couple of fights in Invicta, getting a win, really carving out a name for yourself. How would you describe these last couple of years since turning pro? Has it been what you've expected, or is it kind of going a little bit quicker than you thought?
It's going a lot quicker than I thought. I have two managers, and they've been telling me if I keep going the route that I'm going, that I could end up on a really big stage sooner than I could even imagine. So it's going by very quickly.
Last July is when you really popped into my radar because you fought Carrie Kennison, and she's a fellow New Englander like myself, someone with a really bright future, someone people in this region have been talking about for a while. And you go out there and you finish her in the first round with some vicious ground and pound. Taking out a big prospect as emphatically as you did and getting your first professional finish in your Invicta debut and in your professional career, where would you rank that fight?
Man, crap. Where would I rank that fight? Like, what do you mean? Like, how would I rank that fight?
In terms of, like, all of your performances, in terms of, what that win meant to you?
That win meant so much to me. I did so much for that camp, even though because it was supposed to be a Bellator fight, and it fell through, and then that opportunity popped up, and the way I won in that fashion was everything I had trained for in that camp, even if it was at a different opponent. So that was probably my favorite fight so far.
Was that like a turning point fight for you, where you're just like, all right, this isn't just like, I'm not just a fighter, like I'm someone who can really make an impact right now. Like that's one of those like impact, time-changing performances. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So now you're 4-0 as a pro. You fought Liz Tracy back in November, so it's going to be 9 months or so between fights for you. Are you just itching to get back in there at this point, or is this kind of a meshing time frame for you?
I've been looking for a fight, so to speak. But yes, I am itching to get back. I'm pretty motivated right now. I'm pretty pumped about it too. So, I mean, this is the timing is good. It's summertime. It's my time of the year. I'm not a winter fan at all. So this is my time of year to go out and kick some butt, you know.
Now you get Victoria Leonardo. She's definitely a finisher. 3 straight wins. She already fought twice this year. She fought like back-to-back months in February and March. Is Victoria someone you've been paying attention to before you got this fight?
I had watched her fight, and I believe it was LFA in Houston. I watched that fight, and that one was a banger. Even though I believe it ended in the first or second round, but she caught her in an armbar, and that was or a choke, I believe. I think it was. Either way, it was a fast-paced fight, and like from the start to finish, and she can float on top. Yeah, I've been watching her, but when they set me up with her, I didn't think they would. I didn't think they would put me up against her right away, but I think it's going to be a good fight either way.
With her combat sports pedigree, she's taken some kickboxing fights, she's taken some boxing fights, been pretty successful in MMA. You're on the streak yourself. Would you say, and I know there's a cliche in MMA that every fight is the biggest fight, every fight's the toughest fight.
Right.
Would you say, honestly, that this is the toughest fight of your career so far?
Yes, I will say so. I mean, it's one fight at a time, so yeah, I'd say so.
How has the overall preparation been for this one, and who are some of the people you've been working with to get ready for this fight?
I've been cross-training with American Elite, Derek Atkins, coach for Derek Atkins for Christina Warhorse and Sarah Alper, or Par, I'm sorry. But I've been working with them quite a bit, so I've been getting different looks, and my home gym is Solid MMA. Cobra BJJ, and I'm always getting work with my teammates there too. So I've been getting a lot of different looks that I've been needing for this fight.
Have you talked to Christina at all? Because her career path's pretty similar to yours. She got turned pro in October of 2017. I was actually at her Bellator debut covering that event when she fought Heather Hardy, and it's just been a whirlwind for her getting to this point. Now she's got a big fight coming up tomorrow night for a chance, arguably, in my opinion, I think she'll be the top contender for the women's flyweight title in Bellator with a win over Juliana Velasquez. Have you talked to her at all about, the career trajectory? You're on a fast pace, and she kind of understands that as well, going through that in her own right.
No, I haven't talked with her, but I've been seeing it. Like, we haven't had actual conversation about it, but we have the same manager or co-manager. So, yeah, I'd say so. Now that you've mentioned it, yeah, I would say so too.
What can Victoria Leonardo expect from you? What can I expect from you? What can the fans expect from you on August 9th in Kansas City? Invicta 36, live on UFC Fight Pass. What are we going to see from you? Fireworks.
Fireworks and some hands.
I'm looking forward to that. And I know in this sport, you think about looking ahead a little bit. You never want to look past what's in front of you. And I know your management team's been talking to you about a lot of things. There's a lot of excitement behind you. But you're starting to get yourself in that place where you're about to start knocking on some very important doors in your career. If you go out there and you have a great performance on August 9th, you move to 5-0, defeat a really tough competitor, that door becomes more within arm's reach. You know what I mean? So I guess my question is, a year from right now, maybe even less in this crazy sport of ours, how close are you to getting that life-changing phone call, in your opinion, for an opportunity with the UFC? Are you thinking about that at all?
I think about it probably every day, and I probably dream about it every day, or every night I dream about it. So it's definitely going to happen. My cat, sorry. Yes. I think it's coming soon. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it.
I saw you perk up a little bit when I asked that question. So it obviously has been something you've been thinking about for a while.
Yeah. I mean, just the other day I woke up and I was like, this could be real, you know? Like my 6-year-old self would be like kicking myself in the butt right now to, go into overdrive every time I train. So it's kind of crazy. It's a reality. Everything's becoming as I see it.
What would future you go back and tell 6-year-old you at this point? With everything you've experienced, all the fights you've had, getting to this point, what would you tell 6-year-old Stephanie Geltmacher?
Don't be afraid to fail. As long as you get up and move forward, don't be afraid to fail.
I like it.
And learn from it. And don't cut corners. And be good to your mom and dad.
Yes. You could tell my son that.
No.
He's trying. He's 6 years old now too, so he's kind of in that wacky stage where he's trying to figure himself out at this point. He's obviously got a lot of ways to go, but
does he want to fight too?
I don't know. He's very sensitive. He's a very sensitive kid. He's more of like a musician than anything. He runs like crazy, so he's already gonna have great cardio if he does decide to get into the combat sports world. But he's a little small to fight right now.
Okay.
He just eats and then he runs it off, and he eats and runs it off. He's a tiny kid.
Oh, awesome.
But I'll have to show him this interview so he can learn from you. Which we have Stephanie Geltmacher joining us on the program. What a fight this is going to be on August 9th, Invicta FC 36 against Victoria Leonardo, which you can watch on UFC Fight Pass if you can't make it to Kansas City. Stephanie, before we get out of here, let the folks know where they can follow you on your journey via the web and social media. Any shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest, the floor is yours.
You can follow me on Facebook, Stephanie Geltmacher, and on Instagram, Steph Geltmacher. And I'd really like to thank my sponsors, Core Hog, Muscle Supplements, Dash Threads, Marcus Real Estate, and my special thanks to my coaches and teammates and my fiance, Tegan Dooley. It's far from over, but this camp is going as well as it seems to be. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephanie. All the best to you on August 9th. Really looking forward to it. Great stuff today.
Thank you. You take care.